Hi guys, this is a quick little video here just going over the Heart of the Swarm from a Protoss perspective, what's new and what's different for Wings of Liberty. As of right now, with the most recent balance patch, possibly the biggest patch in the history of StarCraft 2, we're getting very close to the final release product. There's still a few months left so that we could see some changes, but this is pretty much what you're going to be seeing for the most part when Heart of the Swarm comes out. So I just want to really quickly go over what's new for you. First of all, you're going to find out that the Dark Shrine to produce your Dark Templar, the Dark Shrine now has been reduced in cost. It used to cost 100 minerals, 250 gas. It now costs only 100 gas and the 100 minerals. So a significant reduction, and you're absolutely going to see a lot more DT rushes with it. You're going to see a lot more DTs used in the late game. People will be making Dark Shrines just like for the sake of having them, just in case they need them, and that kind of thing. What else? The Phoenix has a slightly longer range, okay? So you're going to see that it's going to be able to fire on this from slightly longer range than it used to be without the upgrade. The upgrade is still available. I didn't want this Thor to attack. I am hoping that this is showing at the correct range. I think it might be. It's only just a slightly longer range, but it's just enough. So if you've used a lot of Phoenixes, this might seem significant to you. So that's that. What else? The Void Ray used to be that you would charge your Void Ray up, and after you charged it up, it would have eventually full charge and be doing more damage. Well, that's gone. It just does a flat damage of 6 and 10 versus armored. However, you now have this ability, Prismatic Alignment, which you can activate, has a 60-second cooldown, and gives you plus 6 damage to armored for 20 seconds. So it gives you basically that full charge on demand for 20 seconds every 60 seconds. So you see, we'll attack this Thor, and it's doing a little bit of damage. We activate the ability, the charge hits up, and it starts doing a lot more damage, and it's going to beat this Thor pretty handily. What else? Well, you have the Tempest. The Tempest is a massive class ship. It comes from a Stargate with a fleet beacon. It does air to ground and air to air, 30 damage with a range of 15, so a very long range. This thing, if you micro correctly and you have your stalkers and your sentries and things, it's going to be able to stay behind the lines and do a lot of damage from far. You can see the range right here. The key to this unit is that it does an additional 30 damage to massive air targets. So in other words, against things like Broodlords, it's going to be really, really good. This is going to be the answer to Broodlords because the mothership has been changed. Vortex no longer sucks everything in. You're not going to be able to do Archon toilets. Vortex is now just this ability which instantly kills any non-massive unit. So it's strong, kind of, in the sense it uses only 100 energy and it attacks units and just instantly kills regardless of health, but not massive units. So you're not going to be able to use it against giant armies of Broodlords, but the Tempest you are. Let's see how effective the Tempest is against this Broodlord. You're going to see it can start firing from pretty far away. I don't know why it moved in. I must have misclicked. It's going to start firing. You can see it does a great deal of damage to that Broodlord. And the thing is, again, if you micro correctly with a range of 15, you're going to be able to keep these things out of range of the corruptors. If your stalkers are slightly in front and maybe you're using force fields to keep the broodlings from coming in, and it's going to be out of range of infestors and things like that. So that's pretty good. The Tempest. What else do you have? Let me get rid of this Void Ray too, so it doesn't cause any trouble. Well, you're going to have also the Mothership Core. And now the Mothership Core is pretty cool. It has a few different abilities. This thing comes after you get a Cybernetics Core. It requires only a Cyber Core. It can be upgraded into the Mothership for 300 minerals and 300 gas, but that's not really what you're going to use it for. This thing is going to come out very early game, and it has 3 key abilities. One is Envision, which turns the Mothership Core into a detector for... I believe it is, let me see it again, for 30 seconds. So you see, let me get this DT over here. Let me turn the vision off. Okay. As you can see, no DT. I activate this ability, and we can see the DT because the mothership core has detection now. Also, I can do this thing called photon overcharge. I can cast this on any friendly nexus, and it turns it into an incredibly long-ranged attack unit for 60 seconds. It deals 20 damage. So as you can see, this thing is now a very long-range attack. Cast in vision again. This Dark Templar is trying to get away, but you can see how far away this Nexus shoots. It's really quite remarkable. And lastly, we have mass recall on the on this mothership core, which is used in exactly the same way as it is on the mothership. As we see, I can move it over here, and it is going to allow me to, I don't have the energy, let me recharge energy. I can use mass recall and target a friendly nexus, and it's going to warp all the stuff that was near it over to the nexus. So that's pretty cool. Lastly, you're going to have these oracles, and these oracles are really incredible. They're one of the strongest units in the game right now. I like them second only to the Viper on the Zerg side. What does the Oracle do? The Oracle has 3 abilities. One is this ability called Revelation. Here's what Revelation does. You use this massive area of effect target, and we drop it on there, and then any units in that area now have this little blue little thing over their head. What does that mean? Let me turn off the vision so I can't see red units, but I can still see them. Why? Because the Oracle casted this ability, Revelation, on them. That means that for 60 seconds, the Protoss now has vision of these units wherever they go. So this is an incredible ability. You're going to be using this in place of observers because observers can be sniped. You're going to be using this when you're in a battle and you're trading with the Terran or with the Zerg, and you're going to use this especially against Terran, I think, to cast this right as the fight ends, and so that you're going to be able to see in those battles where you're trading and he has to pull back and you have to pull back, you're going to cast that ability on it, and it's going to allow you to keep track not only of his forces, but you're going to see as he pulls back his reinforcements, and you're going to see exactly what he has and what reinforcements he has. It's really, really very, very strong of an ability. So that's pretty good. That might be nerfed, but it hasn't been so far. It's been in it for quite a while. Next, you have Time Warp. Well, what does Time Warp do? Time Warp is this ability where for 30 seconds, anything in the area in which you target is going to be slowed by 50%. So as we see these Marines walking, we see they start to slow and to slow as they walk through this area, and they can't go anywhere. What are you going to do with this? I mean, you're going to use this to prevent enemies from retreating. You're going to use this to cover your own retreat. You're going to use this to stop your enemy from microing. What do I mean by that? You're going to have like a High Templar, and you're going to have your oracles, and you're going to come over, and your teammate, your enemy is going to have a thing. You're going to cast the that thing on him, and then you're going to go ahead and storm, and he's going to try to split, but he's not going to be able to split out of there because he's going to be caught in that time warp. And so it's going to be really, really effective for you to do these kinds of things. That's what you're going to be doing as Protoss, especially against Terran, but also against things like Zerglings, and you're going to use it to keep Mutalisks from from getting away when they're trying to harass. It's going to be very effective. Finally, let me just heal these things up. And let me just go ahead and get rid of all of these units, and I'll just throw some workers in there. Actually, let me get rid of everything except for the Marines. So we just have these Marines, and then I'll throw some SCVs. You're going to use this as an incredible harassment unit because of the third ability. What is the third ability? The third ability is this thing called Activate Pulsar Beam. It drains 4 energy per second, right? Well, what is it going to do? What you do is you activate this, and it turns these things into anti-light air-to-ground attacks. Watch how quickly they can deal with some of these Marines. This may be a few too many Marines for these oracles, but you're going to see they're going to go through these Marines really quickly. Look at how effective these things are being against these Marines. and they actually beat that pack of Marines. So that's really amazing. So you can use this for army support, that's for sure. But what you're really going to use it for is you're going to use it for harass. We're going to take these oracles, we're going to turn on their pulsar beam. We're just going to fly and look how fast they go. They can come in, they're going to kill SCVs like crazy, or drones or probes or whatever. And then as the opponent brings his forces in to defend, you're going to just pull back. And they're so strong that if all they have for anti-air is Marines, you're going to be able to deal with that, and you're going to be able to go right back to killing SCVs, or they're going to be able to go right back to killing drones or probes or whatever. These things are like blue flame hellions that fly, that don't have to worry about sim cities, that don't have to worry about supply depot walls, that that you can't split against because they just gun things down one-on-one so quickly. Hellions, of course, very strong because of the fact that their area of effect, but their overall damage isn't that great. These things just do amazing damage to light. So as Protoss, that's really what you're going to be doing in Heart of the Swarm. I hope that was an effective demonstration, and as you can see, these things are very, very speedy. So good luck. Hopefully when the game comes out, you'll see something very similar to what we have here, and you're going to be able to see a lot of really just cool things going on. All right, thanks guys.